everyone, thanks for joining me today in my little coloring hour, as you can see here. Someone that I have been recently become very fascinated by is this guy named Jacinto Vera. He was born on June 3rd, 1813, and his birth story is actually very fascinating. His mother, Josepha, if I'm pronouncing her name right, gave birth to him on a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, which is just crazy. Jacinto's mother and father, Gerald Vera, were on their way to Uruguay from the Canary Islands. Uruguay is considered to be the smallest of the South American republics, and Uruguay wasn't considered an independent country until about 1830. At the age of 19, Jacinto Vera realized that he felt this priestly call on his life and that he needed to do something for the church. But little did he know that he would become the first bishop of Montevideo in Uruguay. It is also important to note that Catholicism was not the official religion until Uruguay became an independent country in 1830, which is when the Constitution was written. This is important to know because before and after this Constitution is written, the church and state are continually fighting and just always at odds with one another. When we fast forward to year 1861, Jacinto Vera is still in Uruguay, but he is fighting with the state. Jacinto is part of the church as the Vicar Apostolic, and just doesn't think that the state really needs to be controlling the church. Well, the state doesn't like this, and so the state exiles Jacinto to Buenos Aires. But while he is there, he is still governing and leading the people of Uruguay, which is just crazy that he just had that heart for the church. Eventually, Jacinto is allowed back into Uruguay, but he doesn't let the state control him. He doesn't give the state any explanation as to what he's doing in the church. He believed that the church should just be on its own and should rule its own. In the year 1863, I believe around August, the church really began to feel and operate in its independence from the state. And this would just continue more and more with time. Jacinto, after the church is nominated or independent, I guess, Jacinto is nominated to be the Bishop of Montevideo, and this occurs in 1878. Jacinto was monumental to the Catholic Church and the role that it played in society. It sent missionaries out. Jacinto was very big on missionaries. He built churches, schools, hospitals, houses, and he just really wanted to share the Christian faith and get to people. Though effective Spanish colonization didn't really occur and happen until about the 17th century, which is a while before Jacinto, Jacinto really was the sparking moment that the church comes into play in the mid to late 19th century. Bishop Jacinto is highly esteemed in the Catholic Church today, as he was back then. He was actually killed on a mission himself. He was serving God's people. He died in 1881, but at his funeral, people were calling him a saint, and that has still stuck today. People consider Bishop Jacinto Vera a saint, and just truly look up to him and the work that he did. So, yeah, thank you for joining my coloring hour.